Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today doing a Harpie deck profile. So I'm really excited to do this for you guys because this deck is an extremely fun deck to play, to be able to swarm the board with all sorts of awesome Harpie monsters to go in for game. So without further ado guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards. Like getting your name description every single video, getting assigned cards in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month to your Patreon. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're playing 3 copies of Harpie Channeler. This card is one of the best cards in the entire deck, because this card has an amazing ability that you can discard a Harpie card to special summon a Harpie monster from your deck in face-up defense position, except another copy of this card, which is an amazing effect to be able to summon off your copy of Perfumer to your side of the field so you can get some searches, but it's an amazing card to get the exact Harpie monster you want on the field. It also has an amazing ability that while you control a dragon-type monster, this card's level becomes 7, which helps you go in for rank 7 plays in this deck. We then play 3 copies of Harpie Perfumer. Harpie Perfumer is hands down the best target to be able to summon off your copy of Channeler, because this card will get you an additional search when summoned. Because if it's normal or special summon, you can add a spell or trap from your deck to your hand that specifically lists the card Harpie Lady Sisters in its text. And if you control a level 5 or higher Harpie monster when you activated this effect, you can add a second such target from your deck to your hand, but with a different name, which is such a cool effect to be able to get a double search if you control something like a copy of Cyber/Harpie Lady or Fearsome Fire Blast, which is just absolutely crazy. We then play 2 copies of Harpie Harpist. Harpie Harpist is a really good 2-of in the build, because during the end phase, if this card is in the graveyard because it was sent there this turn, you can add a level 4 Wing Beast type monster with 1500 less attack from your deck to your hand, which is great to be able to search out cards like Channeler, because Channeler has 1400 attack points, making it so that you can search it off of Harpist, which is super cool. We then play a single copy of Harpie Oracle. Harpie Oracle is a good extender in the deck, but I only feel like you need a single copy of this card in the build, because if you control a level 5 or higher Harpie monster, you can special summon this card from your hand, which is a really good effect to just instantly get it on the field. It also has the ability, if this card is normal or special summon, you can add a spell or trap card from your graveyard to your hand that specifically lists the card Harpie Lady Sisters in its text during the end phase of this turn, which is great to be able to grab one of your cards out of the grave. We then play a single copy of Harpie Queen. This card is basically like terraforming for the deck. You send this card from your hand to the graveyard to be able to add your copy of Harpie's Hunting Ground from your deck to your hand, but it's also a 1900 normal summon, which is really nice, making this card a definite 1-of in the build. We then play 3 copies of the original Harpie Lady. Harpie Lady is really good as a 3-of in this build because you can summon this card off of Unexpected Die or Elegant Egotist, which is why I play this card as a 3-of over something like a copy of Harpie Lady 1 or Cyber Harpie Lady, which is why I really like this card over those 2 options, because you can summon this card off of Unexpected Die, basically giving you a Cyber Dragon from the deck effect, which is just super good, especially since you don't even use your normal summon to be able to activate something like Unexpected Die, so then you can normal summon a Harpie to your side of the field and make a copy of Cyber/Harpie Lady, which is just really, really good. I love that about this card, and it's just a really awesome nostalgic card to be able to play the original Harpie Lady in a Harpie deck. We then play 3 copies of Harpie's Pet Dragon, Fearsome Fire Blast. This card is an amazing 3-of extender because it has an amazing ability. If you control a level 6 or lower wind monster, you can special summon this card from your hand in defense position, and if this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can send a Wind Wing Beast type monster from your deck to the grave, which is a great ability to be able to send something to the grave like a copy of Harpist so you can resolve its effect. It also has a protection ability because monsters cannot target level 6 or lower Harpie monsters for attacks, basically protecting all of your lower level Harpie monsters, which is really good. This card is a definite 3-of in this build, especially since of one of the tech cards that I'm playing in the spell lineup. We're then playing 3 copies of Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom's an amazing 3-of just to stop your opponent from touching the deck, and it's a great 3-of in this build. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, guys, we're going to start with a single copy of Harpie's Feather Duster. Harpie's Feather Duster is an amazing card to be able to play in the deck, just to be able to deal with your opponent's back row, and plus, it wouldn't be a Harpie deck without Harpie's Feather Duster. We then play a single copy of Called by the Grave. Called by the Grave is a great one-of in the deck just to stop your opponent from hand trapping you while you're going in for all of your plays. We then play a single copy of Harpie's Feather Rest. This card helps you recycle your resources while also drawing cards, which is really good because you can target 3 Harpie ladies in your graveyard, shuffle them into the deck, and then draw a card. And if you control level 5 or higher Harpie monster when you activated this card, you also get to draw a second card, giving you a draw 2 while also recycling some resources. But it has the ability that for the rest of the turn, after this card resolves, you cannot special summon monsters except for wind monsters, which is not that big of a deal because you just go in for all of your plays first, then activate this card as the last card in your hand to extend, which is really cool. We then play 2 copies of Harpie's Hunting Ground. Harpie's Hunting Ground is a great 2-of that increases the attack points of your Harpie monsters by 200 attack points, but it also pops a spell or trap on the field every time you summon a Harpie lady to your side of the field. But keep in mind it is a mandatory effect, so if this is the only copy of a spell or trap that's on the field, you have to destroy this card, because it is mandatory. We then play 2 copies of Unexpected Die. Unexpected Die is amazing to be able to summon out the original Harpie lady directly from your deck to your side of the field, essentially turning it into almost like a cyber dragon, which is absolutely crazy to instantly get that card out on your side of the field, but it has to summon the original vanilla Harpie lady. We then play 3 copies of Elegant Egotist. Elegant Egotist is really good in this deck because it helps you special summon a Harpie lady directly from your deck, which is such a cool ability if you control a copy of a Harpie lady, which all of your main deck Harpie lady monsters outside of Fearsome Fireblast count as Harpie lady while in the field or in the graveyard, making it super easy to resolve this card. Plus, this card is searchable off Perfumer because it mentions Harpie lady sisters. We then play 3 copies of Small World. Small World is an amazing 3-of in this build because it's so easy to resolve, because if you have any Harpie monster in your hand, you can activate this card. Because by using a copy of Fearsome Fireblast in the deck, you can get your copy of Channeler, which is just absolutely amazing. Because what you do is reveal any Harpie monster in your hand, which are all basically level 4 winged beasts that are wind, and then once you do that, you reveal a copy of Fearsome Fireblast, which is a level 7, so a different level, attack 25 or attack 2000, defense 2500, which is completely different from any of your other Harpie monsters, and the only thing it has in common is that it's a wind monster, making it the perfect Small World target in the deck to be able to use as a bridge to go in for your copy of Channeler, because you really want to get to Channeler as quickly as possible. So this card is really good as a 3-of in the build. We then play 3 copies of Hysteric Sign. Hysteric Sign is definitely a 3-of in the build because this card is great because when it's activated, you add an Elegant Egotist from your deck or graveyard to your hand. And during the end phase of the turn, this card was sent from the field or the hand to the graveyard. You get to add up to 3 Harpie cards with different names from your deck to your hand, but you can only use either or of this card's effect per turn. You cannot get both the search of Elegant Egotist and the grab 3 effect. You only get one or the other, which is just really a great thing about this card. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get into the traps. So for the traps, we're going to start off with 2 copies of Hysteric Party. Hysteric Party is like a crazy Call of the Haunted for this deck, because you activate this card by discarding a card, and then you special summon as many copies of Harpie Lady as possible from your graveyard, and when this face of card leaves the field, destroy those monsters, which just helps you swarm the board to go in for game. This card is absolutely crazy, and it's an amazing 2-of in the build just to help you swarm the board. We then play 3 copies of one of the most crazy hand traps ever created, and that's going to be 3 copies of Harpie's Feather Storm. This card is insane. This card is absolutely amazing. It basically turns off your opponent's entire turn. Because if you control a Wind-Winged Beast type monster, until the end of this turn, negate any monster effect that your opponent activates, which is just absolutely crazy. And if you control a Harpie monster, you can activate this card from your hand, which is already insane. I love that about this card, and it's just absolutely insane how you can basically just turn off your opponent's entire turn. And it also has a really cool ability that if this card in its owner's spell and trap card zone is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, you can add a Harpie's Feather Duster from your deck or graveyard to your hand, instantly getting you one of the most powerful 1-ofs ever created if your opponent decides to handle this card in your back row. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, guys, we're going to start off with 2 copies of Cyber/Harpie Lady. I feel like 2 is the perfect number for this build because it's so easy to summon to your side of the field, and it also is amazing because this card is a bounce, which is just absolutely crazy. Because when a spell or trap card effect is activated, quick effect, you can target a monster that your opponent controls or a Harpie monster you control and return it back to the hand, which is such a good ability about this card, but you don't even have to use a tuner to summon this card out to your side of the field, because it almost works like a copy of Chaos Angel that you just use a copy of a Harpie monster as the tuner, which is absolutely crazy. Because this card says that for this card Synchro Summon, you can treat any one Harpie monster that you control as a tuner to be able to Synchro Summon this card, so you don't even have to have a tuner to make this card. We then buy a single copy of Harpie's Pet Phantasmal Dragon. This card gives you a lot of protection and also lets it attack directly, which is just such a cool ability, because this card has a great effect that this card's effects can only be applied, resolved while it has XZ material, and this card can attack your opponent directly, and your opponent cannot target any Harpie monster with card effects or for attacks, which is such a crazy powerful ability, especially since this card is going to have 3 materials when you summon it to your side of the field. We then play a single copy of Lightning Chidori to bounce cards off the field. This card is really good as a 1-of in the deck. 1 copy of Abyss Dweller just to be able to shut down graveyards, making this card a great 1-of in the build. 1 copy of Ice Be Xerophine. This card gets really big and turns off everything on the field that's face up, which is such a cool ability about this card. 1 copy of Utopia. Utopia is really good as a 1-of in the deck, so we can make a copy of Utopia the Lightning on top of it to have a 5,000 attack point monster, which is just a great ability to have that access to this card. We then buy a single copy of Big Eye. Big Eye is great because it's very easy to make in this build with a copy of Channeler and Fearsome Fire Blast, because it's a dragon, turning your copy of Channeler into a level 7, and being able to take control of an opponent's monster is really big. We play a single copy of Mecha Phantom Beast Dracosac, which is great to be able to play in this build, because you just detach a material from this card, and then you get to special summon out 2 machine tokens to your side of the field that are Machine, Wind, level 3, 0 attack, and 0 defense, which is going to help you link climb in this build, which is just super cool. We play a single copy of Double A Zeus. Double A Zeus is just great because we can board wipe the field with this card. And then for the link monsters, we're playing a single copy of Mech Knight Crusadia Avermax, which is very easy to make in this build, being able to use basically a copy of IP Masquerena and Harpie Conductor to make this card. We play a single copy of Unicorn to spin stuff. 1 copy of Harpie Conductor because we use the copy of the Mecha Phantom Beast Dracosac tokens to be able to make this card because they're wind. And then we play a single copy of IP Masquerena because when you use your copy of IP Masquerena to be able to step into your copy of Mech Knight Crusadia Avermax, it basically becomes invincible, which is absolutely crazy for this build to be able to do. You use these 2 cards to be able to make it. If you can make a rank 7, you make Mecha Phantom Beast Dracosac, and then you only need 1 more monster to be able to make your copy of Mech Knight Crusadia Avermax, which is super easy to be able to do in this deck, because all you basically do is summon out a copy of Channeler, and if you have Fearsome Fire Blast in the hand plus any other Harpie, you can pull off the combo to be able to summon out your copy of Avermax, and it will basically be invincible, which is insane. So that's gonna do it for this one, guys. I hope you did enjoy. This deck is super fun to be able to play. If you guys have never played Harpie Ladies before, you should definitely give this deck a try, because it's an absolutely crazy fun deck to be able to play, and it's really fun how like they've gotten support over the years. Hopefully we see some more support for this deck soon, because it's just such a fun deck to play. So that's gonna do it for this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.